weeks ago, if you had told me you were going to win a championship, I'd say you're crazy. No other Northeastern team has done what you guys just did.
Huskies win it in overtime! Back-to-back champions!
The Britannia Trophy's not going anywhere for the 4th consecutive season.
Northeastern has done it again, 6 straight.
It wasn't something that happened overnight. I knew when I took the job it wasn't going to be an overnight project. It was going to be a long term, and I had to be patient.
We weren't very competitive my first couple years, but that's what kind of excited me about coming here. Was I wanted to be a part of something that was rebuilding, and I wanted to be a part of like the future and bringing back Northeastern to what it was.
The first goal, the first step to where we truly wanted to be, which was a national championship, was to win that first Hockey East tournament championship. You know, probably one of the biggest reasons why we weren't really able to get over that hump was Boston College. They were rolling for quite a few years.
Won by the Eagles, back at the point, shot there by Flanagan, she scores!
Final buzzer sounds as the Huskies fall to the #1 team in the land.
We were good, but we didn't have the depth that a team like that had, or BU, or some of those other programs, but we always felt like we were there. It's just we needed a little something to get us over the hump.
Kendall Coyne, a freshman sensation from Illinois. It's going to be exciting to watch her in her first game. Empty net to shoot at, Coyne puts this one away. That's the first goal of Kendall Coyne's Northeastern career. We think there might be some more exciting ones in her future.
I think a lot of players looked at it like, well, if Northeastern's good enough for Kendall Coyne to go there, like it's got to be a pretty special place.
And look at Kendall Coyne from Oak Lawn, Illinois. She's in our women's national team. And look at that move for Northeastern.
We've built from there, bringing in top-notch players ever since then.
Welcome to 2017. They get to host the #1 team in the country in Clarkson as the reigning champions open the season at home for Northeastern.
Centering pass shot, score for the first goal of the season, and it gives the Huskies a 1-0 lead.
We were definitely going to be as good as we had been in a while.
2-on-1. Here come the Huskies. McKenna Brand. She scores. McKenna Brand, delayed penalty.
The Huskies move to the top of the Hockey East standings at 3-0-0 in conference play.
BC was there. They had an incredible, incredible team.
Off and underway from historic Matthews Arena in Boston. First shot and a goal.
The year before that, I think we lost in overtime. We knew we were right there. We just had to add a couple of additional pieces.
One player who didn't play anybody last year has had a huge impact on the Northeastern blue line.
Yeah, that would be Brooke Hobson. She's got a goal and 6 assists for 7 total points, the highest scoring rookie defenseman in women's Hockey East play.
Here comes Fontaine right up the center of the ice. Sky Fontaine carries it on out in front of everybody, coast to coast.
2 appearances thus far in her NCAA career. The freshman getting her first start this afternoon.
Going into the season, you know, Brittany had gotten us to the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. She was a very good goalie, and then Erin coming in, I knew was going to provide competition and push Brittany.
Hockey East Co-Player of the Week last week.
Coming off that outstanding performance against Wisconsin.
Before that weekend, I said, "You ready to go in the net against the #1 team in the country?" And she's like, "Yep, I'm ready." And she went in and we beat the #1 team, and she played awesome.
She saved 39 shots in the win over the previously undefeated #1 Wisconsin Badgers.
You know, that's where she kind of took the net at that point. And, you know, I still gave Brittany some games, but Erin just game after game was just better. And like I said, took over the starting job.
Here's McManus in behind Kelly. McManus backhand. Save made by Franco.
Leading up to the playoffs in the Beanpot, we were not playing well. What's supposed to be my best line hasn't been producing. And, you know, we need them to step up in big games like this. We lost both games in the Beanpot, underachieving, and then going into the playoffs, Erin got hot at the right time, and we also were playing better in front of her, I think more confident, but also playing with we got nothing to lose here. Let's see what we can do.
It's the day where the best 2 words in sports come together. Hockey playoff. It's game 1 of a women's Hockey East quarterfinals between Northeastern and UNH.
We had to grind out 1-goal games, and it wasn't easy.
2-on-1 with Taylor. Tays in, shot, a score! UNH gets the first goal. McKenna Brand leaves it behind. Shisheva, wrist shot, scores! The Northeastern answers back. Shisheva puts it toward the net. Boutelier, Kelly, she scores! Huskies take game 1, 3-2. Northeastern completes the sweep. They win it 2-1, and they will move on to the Hockey East semifinals. They are the first team to punch their ticket.
I'm always, for whatever reason, more afraid of the semifinal than the final, because I know the final, anything can happen, but you have your expectations in the semifinals and whatnot.
And here's a look at the matchup as far as the breakdown of the yearly run, and Maine took 2 of the 3 meetings this year in the head-to-head. Shot and a goal by the left winger there, just out of the box. Trying to break, here's Petty to the net, quick shot, score! Veronica Petty ties it up with 10 seconds to go in the period. Here's a steal, Shisheva centers Brand, shot save, rebound, score! It is Tori Sullivan, and Northeastern takes a 2-1 lead.
Well, and it's Aaron Frankel that keeps this one close.
Northeastern will take on UConn in the Hockey East final tomorrow, as they're out to salute Aaron Frankel, who was outstanding down the stretch.
It was a great team effort. Everybody came together, and it started with good goaltending, and then the rest took care of itself.
It is Championship Sunday in Boston, and today either Northeastern or Connecticut will win its first ever Hockey East tournament title. None of the top 3 seeds will play for the title. Instead, we have the first ever number 7 seed in Connecticut, and Northeastern just the second number 4 seed to ever play in the championship game. Northeastern is relying on a freshman, Aaron Frankel.
Well, she's shown what she's made of and has dialed up her game at the right time. Now, the key freshman forward for the Huskies is Natalie Snodgrass. Snodgrass has established herself as the Huskies' go-to offensive weapon.
McKenna Brand, 2 goals.
Cross-ice feed score! McKenna Brand! And the Huskies are on the board 28 seconds into the title game.
So I remember one of them for sure was right at that face-off dot right there. She was lined up on the inside.
Score! Brand with her second of the period. A screenshot off the face-off.
We played well against UConn all year. When we got up, we were pretty good defensively that year, so I felt pretty good once we got that lead.
That'll do it. Huskies celebrate their first Hockey East championship.
It's a long time coming, starting in 08, and my first goal when I took the job was let's get home ice playoffs and then kind of build from there. And we were so close. It was great for me as a coach to finally reach that top of the league and get our first championship.
The 2017-18 season will go down as one of the most exciting in the history of Northeastern hockey. The Huskies caught fire in the Women's Hockey East tournament to claim the Huskies' first ever Hockey East championship.
As far as that year goes, again, same thing. It was BC. They were there. They had 3 Olympians on the blue line, if I remember correctly.
The puck is down, and the highly anticipated Eagles and Huskies matchup is underway. Hobson peels off. Walks along the goal line, in front, opportunity, they score! Overtime winner!
I felt like that year was probably going to be the last year where we were going to really be playing second fiddle to them. We had Fontaine, we had Hobson, we had Frankel, we had some really, really quality players coming into our program.
Those two, Alina Mueller and Chloe Arard, 2 freshmen. They both played for their senior national teams. They're a foundation Northeastern can build on for a long time.
I knew that they were going to be a big part of our success, and it was going to be contingent on how quickly they adapted to the college game.
Alina lit it up her first year. I think her first goal was against BU at BU. And then from there, it was probably like the second, third game of the season. From there, she just took off.
An opportunity in front, Mueller scores! That is the 11th goal this season for Mueller.
From the moment they got on campus and got out there with the team, they hit the ground running and gave us a good scoring punch up front. They integrated right away into the team. They're just both very likable people, and for those that know Alina, she's very team-oriented, very team-first, and players feed off of her energy, and then also being probably the best recruit in the country in that class. She and Chloe definitely helped keep us at the top of Hockey East.
I came into a D-Corps that first year in 18-19. That was unbelievable.
Gets a handle on it, has some help off to her right, broken up by Hartman.
To think of some of the names that we had that year and I just inherited them was just really special that I got to work with them every day.
Part of the reason the team's been playing so well, they've gotten phenomenal play from blue liner Skylar Fontaine.
She was one of the most dynamic players I've ever coached in my life. She was one of the first phone calls I made when I got here, and I remember Coach Flint saying, "Go get that kid."
Her offensive abilities, I think the sky was literally the limit with her. Like, there was just so much to her game.
Comes to watch her shot, that's blocked. Fontaine somehow kept it out.
I think she wasn't a very prototypical defenseman. Like, she was crazy, crazy offensive. We used to call her F4 because she'd always be up. She really helped us shape our philosophy as far as we want to attack with 5 players and defend with 5 players. And she was a huge catalyst for that because she was like our first real, true ultra offensive defenseman. That was basically like having a fourth forward. So, you know, the jump she made, I think from her first year, she's just feeling it out, to the next year it was just, oh wow, I got it. I'm pretty quick, I'm pretty skilled, I can make stuff happen when I want to.
With Hobby having her leadership style and her defensive abilities, and then to have someone like Paige on the back end with her leadership. Cody was super skilled, and then we had Maddie Hartman that year too with great leadership. But again, I was learning too at the same time, so to have that crew to learn from in that time period was really cool. But obviously it means a lot to our success and being able to not only backstop us, but help propel the offense going the other way.
Welcome to Providence College, where today we crown a champion as the number 1 seeded Northeastern Huskies will host the number 2 Boston College Eagles.
I knew it was going to be a really tough game. I think they had 3 or 4 Olympians on their team. They were loaded.
I was very nervous, especially because we got word that Alina hurt her hand. She was a very big part of that run, and we were told that she didn't break her hand.
So I knew it was going to take great goaltending and overall an amazing team effort for us to be able to pull off that game.
Keep going, keep it up here.
Shot is blocked, rebound, score! Northeastern takes a 1-0 lead. Now BC up ice, 15 seconds remaining on a 5-on-3. Here's Watts to the net, centering feed, score! Here comes Watts. Watts still holding, shooting, nice save, Franklin, she covers up. Petty across, walking to the middle, Mueller, penalty is up, shot here, score! Alina Mueller with 5:01 to go, and the Huskies take a 2-1 lead.
Okay. Play hard, okay? Play confident, play smart.
Trying to get their attention, and the puck is dropped. Crowley throws her book on, they score! The Eagles tie it up off the face-off. The horn is going to sound, and we will need overtime to decide the 2019 Hockey East Tournament champions.
We have all the power to do this. It's literally down to us. Do we want it? Let's take it. Here we go. Husks on 3, 1, 2, 3. Huskies!
The championship game, you never really know what's going to happen. We got a nice bounce. Cassie Anderson picked that up in the right wing and just did a perfect Cassidy Anderson goal.
Huskies win it in overtime!
I remember when that puck went in, I just couldn't believe where the program had come and that I was back for that moment. It just felt really surreal, and looking back on it now, I even get the chills thinking about it. I couldn't have ever really dreamt of that as a player. So to be a part of this part of Northeastern again is really cool.
We played an almost perfect game against them that day, and that was probably a bigger win than the year before for us, as far as how tough our competition was and what we had to overcome to win the championship.
After you win, you get a target on your back, and we knew that was happening, and everybody pre-scouts you a little harder. They spend a little more time on you. I think it's pretty natural for their players to get up a little bit more for that game.
Listen, I told you guys Friday they were going to come out fast. And what'd they do? They came out fast, we weren't ready. Success for any team, you need to have that depth. You've got to have opportunistic scoring from different people in the lineup.
Bobbick loses it to McGinnis, and it now moved up for Michaela Senduris. Senduris with Cipra going to the goal. Senduris out in front. Now a chance for Holmes. Watson, she scores!
Teams now, when they scout you, they have to watch out not for 1, 2, or 3 players. They got to watch out for 5, 6, 7, 8 players.
Backhander toward goal, another chance, jamming away, they score! Peyton Anderson!
Whenever I used to go watch her play, her coaches would have her play forward, and then to give her a shift off, they'd put her on defense. We knew she was gritty, we knew she was talented, we knew she had an unbelievable shot. Same thing with Katie Knoll, big, strong, super fast, 2-time U18 player. we were very excited about bringing someone with her resume into our program. Those characteristics are what we really needed to push ourselves over the edge. We needed more grit. You know, if we can get a little bit more skill, that's great too.
I had seen Carter play and knew that she was going to help us defensively and in the way that we wanted to play.
Diving behind Frankel. That is Megan Carter keeping the shutout streak going.
What happened with Carter was that she had a lot more to her than that. She was often kind of put in that box of like she's a defensive defenseman, but then when she got here it was like, wow, she moves really well. She breaks out the puck really well. She adds to our offense.
We take great pride in our defensive zone, and obviously defense is what wins the game, and with our amazing goaltending and good defensive play, like that's how we're gonna win hockey games.
And then when I talked to her, I was like, wow, this kid's a leader. So she brought a lot to us that year, and as such a young player, so I was excited for her to come in, and she obviously exceeded every expectation.
Any Beanpot's exciting, right? And that year was very exciting.
So we were very beat up on the back end. Hobson had just come back from an MCL injury in 3 weeks, which is not very normal.
We also had Cody Cross out of the lineup that night. She was hurt. So we were already down one of our top D.
And there's a big push in front. Scarpese got leveled. Fontaine is done for the game. A critical loss for Northeastern.
To lose Skylar for the rest of the game, and she was logging probably 30 minutes a night at that point. So to lose a D that plays half the game was definitely a lot, I think, emotionally and psychologically for our players.
2-2 after 2 periods, 3-3 after the third. A 5-minute overtime now in the books, but that's not going to do it. It's time to decide a Beanpot champion, and we will play 20-minute overtime periods until we have a winner. Rebound, a push from behind, McGinnis scores! Northeastern wins the Women's Beanpot for the first time since 2013. Lauren McGinnis gets the winner.
I can't say enough about the way that the rest of our Ds stepped up. I'll never get the image of Alina celebrating with Lauren after that goal and how big that moment was for them.
But that's the type of team we had. Like we had a lot of depth, next player up mentality, and I don't think the players at any point felt like, oh my God, we're in a lot of trouble here.
To have a tournament during the season before your conference tournament is always exciting too. You see her get better and better every year, and just when you don't think she can get any better, she gets better. And her getting the experience she did her freshman year really helped develop her through the next couple of years.
She has been nothing but stellar throughout her entire career since taking the job from Brittany Bogalski.
10 saves here tonight, and for my money, Ben, she has been one of, if not the best goaltenders in the nation this year. Is a big reason why Northeastern sits where they do in the rankings right now, number 3 in the country.
She was the backbone of our team, and we played so confident when she was in net.
Takes the turnover. Anderson, the backhander, slid it out in front. They score.
You know, I look back that season, like just knowing going in every game you have a chance to win because you have the best goalie in net is a huge boost to the team and definitely helped us play differently and more confident. No matter what happens today, stick together as a team, stay positive, play together. If you guys can do all those things, we're going to get another championship.
We saw a UConn team that was really good.
We've got Northeastern, who's a very explosive offensive team, and then you've got the UConn Huskies, who are a very good lockdown defensive team. It's going to be interesting to see what style wins out today.
We find the open player. Mueller, a centering feed score. Northeastern takes a 1-0 lead.
And it was tight for a little bit, and then it just seemed like everything was going in the net.
Shot, score, redirected, save, rebound, score.
I don't think I was really truly able to breathe until we got 6. And I believe that it was Katie Cipra coming down like along the right side of the net, and she just shelved it, and that's when I was like, oh my God, we're in really good shape here.
It was one of the later goals, but feeling like, wow, everything's kind of clicking for us today, and it didn't really feel like that was the way the game was going to go, but then when it did, and we just kept scoring, it obviously was like, okay, this is going to propel us into the first round of the tournament, and then we all know what happens after that.
We were so excited for the tournament, and then to find out the day before the game that everything was shut down because of COVID. You know, I think the toughest part to navigate was how tough it was for our seniors. And one thing they had said to me was, we didn't realize the championship was the last time we were going to be on the ice together.
It was unfortunate that the seniors that year did not get their year back. I think to give a player an extra year of eligibility is only positive for them, for their experience, so we benefited certainly.
And it came certainly at the right time for our program with having Chloe, Alina, Murph incoming that year.
Porter to save, puck still loose, and score, Northeastern. And I think it's Murphy. She draws the lion's share of the hugs, and in her first game as a Husky, Maureen Murphy with a huge smile on her face makes it 2-0 Northeastern.
As soon as she was eligible to play, we knew that she was going to be someone that would be able to really take advantage of the playmaking abilities of Alina, also playmaking abilities of Chloe as well.
Murphy, she's got a hat trick. Since Maureen Murphy has jumped into the picture, the numbers are otherworldly. 12 points, 18 points, 12 points for those three in 7 contests.
We're very excited. We knew we were going to probably have one of the best lines, if not the best line in the country, and they ran away with it as soon as she stepped on the ice.
Top line scoring for Northeastern. That line playing for the first time ever as a unit. Mueller, Murphy, and Arar, all three of them score.
We had players coming in that was going to give us depth that would have been top 6 at a lot of other programs. So we knew that talent that we had from first line to fourth line, goaltending was very, very good, and we had 6 outstanding defensemen that was going to help us continue to have the success that we were having.
I think it's really cool that our defense really buy into the no glory role of playing D. That plays a part in the rest of the game too. Even though it doesn't show up on the score sheet, it matters, and it really helps us get to where we want to get to.
Congratulations, Aaron Frankel. You are the 2021 Patty Kazmaier Memorial Award winner.
The numbers that Aaron put up that year were unbelievable, and it was almost like we can't not pick her. Like she's deserves it, and her body of work throughout the year was incredible.
With the Britannia Trophy on the line, it's a battle for the history books between a Huskies dynasty at the peak of its powers and a Friars program with a chance to get back to the Hockey East mountaintop. Northeastern's ranked #1 in the country for a reason. They're hoping to go on a 20-game unbeaten streak with a win tonight. They seem unbeatable, but UConn almost pulled it off in the semifinals on Wednesday, so Providence, I'm sure, is taking some things from that game tape.
I think we need to start fast and, take them out of the game early. Don't let them stick around.
Katie Cipra scores on the backhand, lifted it up to the corner, past Abstrider. Fontaine to the middle, one-timer, they score! It's Maureen Murphy, the former Friar on the power play. The Britannia Trophy's not going anywhere. For the 4th consecutive season, Northeastern has won Hockey East.
That's just kind of been our motto here, is play for each other and give our best effort. At the end of the day, we have a damn good hockey team, so if we're doing it together on and off the ice, then ultimately we're going to come out with a lot of wins, and that's what we've done this year so far. So I'm excited to see what is going to come as we hit the NCAA tournament.
It was such a turning point for our program and the players knowing, like, all right, we can compete at this level. Yeah, we've been at the top Hockey East, but now we're competing nationally.
Semi-final #1 of the 2021 Women's Frozen Four. The Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth out of the WCHA taking on the 1-seed Huskies of Northeastern from Hockey East.
If I remember correctly, I don't think Hockey East had beaten a WCHA team in the NCAA tournament to that point. I remember Coach Flint just said to wait till you get a load of us, or that's because we haven't been here.
You guys, amazing group of athletes, amazing group of people. You've done everything to get yourselves ready for this moment. We're going to go out there, we're going to put it all together for 60 minutes. We're going to make some more history.
We had tremendous confidence going into all the games.
Shallow angle shot, loose in the slot. Skinner wide open net, tipped in. McMahon flipped out in front. Nobody there now. Anderson scores.
We weren't used to the grit of the WCHA and the speed and the physicality of it. Once we settled in that first game, we did a really good job.
Here's Hobson lurking. Hands off. Fontaine throws it down front. They score. And we're tied at 2. It is Katie Knoll with the equalizer. Here's a 2-on-1, a big hurry. Here comes UNB back the other way. Shot. Oh, what a save by Frankel, and she scrambles. Here's Fontaine moving in. Fontaine, a shot. They score! Northeastern is going to the national title game.
It was such an amazing semifinal game where we win in overtime and get to the national championship, and just knowing we can compete with those top teams.
It's about as close as you can get. We had a 3-on-1 in overtime. The defenseman made a really good play, and then they scored on a lucky bounce the other way.
It's hard to get to the top. It's even harder to stay at the top. Everybody wants to push you off, and there's only a little room up there for one team.
A dynasty here inside Matthews. Northeastern has taken care of business in 4 straight years.
We had a pretty significant culture shift throughout this process where I think when I first got here, we were just kind of showing up hoping to win, and maybe if we snuck a couple out, that'd be great, to the point where when we walked into buildings, that was the expectation.
They had higher goals or aspirations than maybe in past years. And nobody wants to be the team that doesn't win another championship.
They're all different, but to think of their development over the years that I was with them, I mean, it's substantial and it's impressive, and I think for the 3 of them, they just all put in the time.
Circle, Fontaine. Now Mills in front, and a hat trick for Murphy.
You know, they're just such a smart group that sees everything going on the ice, and you know, we always as staff took in their input, and that really kind of helped us develop relationships with everybody on the ice and within our programs.
So it was really cool to watch them grow as people and as players, and to watch like what they brought to the table on a nightly basis for us.
It was a luxury to have 2 amazing goalies. A lot of teams don't have 1 goalie at that level. I had 2.
A goalkeeping change has been made for Northeastern as Gwyneth Phillips comes in.
Maybe just a little bit of change in pace here for Northeastern as they try and battle their way back here.
Mills with all day to go, and she scores!
Maddie Mills ties the hockey game.
For the team to show the resiliency they did against such a big competitor that BU is to us, that just showed the makeup of the team. We became a very resilient team. Like, we never panicked when we were down. They always had confidence that they were going to come back.
It's just going to be a sour feeling for BU to go back across town knowing that they lost 6-3 in a game that they led 3-1.
And that just was the confidence in the group and how close they were.
A champion will be crowned tonight at Matthews Arena, and history will be made no matter the victor. For Northeastern, it's an opportunity for immortality. They're just 1 win away from a record 5th consecutive tournament championship. Turnover here in front. Big chance for Wabick. In on Frankel. She scores! A rare Northeastern mistake leads to a 1-0 UConn lead. Goes to the middle. One-timer came back to Mueller. She scores! And it's Chloe Arard with the dagger. It could be the game of the year in women's college hockey. A top 5 matchup and a rematch of last year's national title game.
We were very excited. We knew that there was a lot of buzz for that game. You know, we felt confident. We felt like we had a pretty good grasp of what they were trying to do.
I remember the team wasn't nervous. They were super confident. And it's easy to get overwhelmed by the situation, and we didn't.
Started one-timer, shot, score! On the rebound is Katie Noel.
We got a jump on them early. They gave us a couple little scares, but we were able to pull it out.
Murphy, Mueller, score!
You know, from the goal line out, we were really good that game, and ultimately won and got back to another Frozen Four.
We just showed so many people that they shouldn't sleep on us, and we are the best team in this country.
And I think all the other seniors can agree, but I'm glad this was our last game in Matthews.
For us, you'll see a little different look. Graduated 12 players. We have 10 new players. Pretty easy decision for me. Gwyneth Phillips is going to be our starter. Anytime you graduate a goalie like Aaron Frankel, everyone's like, oh, okay, well now they don't have the same goaltending that they had, so like they're going to take a step back.
Hard to find a better goaltender with better stats in collegiate hockey right now. Look at that record, 18-1-0.
I think people figured out really quick that we didn't take a step back. We were right where we were, and we still had the best goalie in the country.
Mala has her shot blocked by Carter. Peterson's shot blocked as well.
Each year, we're able to rely on our returners, leaning on a Carter and leaning on even a Lily Jovetic. She took a huge jump that year. And Tori Mariano was huge that year too, and bringing a Jules along, someone who's new. And I don't have to do a lot when we have returners every year that know how it goes and they know what to expect, and they kind of set the expectations.
Mentioned their whole top line, Aurora, Mueller, Murphy, 3 massive point producers. They're only the second trio ever to be 200-point producers for the NCAA.
They were a special group, and if you look, I didn't break them up too often because they had such amazing chemistry, and I think part of their development was the chemistry they built together and how close they were and how much they pushed each other every day. And they understood the importance of their roles and how much the team relied on them, and they took that very seriously in everything they did.
Historic Matthews Arena, home of the 5-time defending Hockey East women's champ. The Britannia Trophy is on the line, and Northeastern so dominant in so many categories, leading Hockey East in goals per game, goals against, and of course special teams always among the best in the country. No different this year.
The home team is down a goal. There's a chance out in front. They score on the backhand. Guess who? The Swiss miss. Crowd ready to celebrate. Another championship for the Huskies. Northeastern has done it again. 6 straight Britannia trophies as Hockey East champions.
And I'm extremely proud of this group because there was a lot of talking about we are losing 10 veteran players, we're losing Aaron, what's going to happen with our team, and we showed everybody and we proved everybody wrong.
Credit your past players, you know, they built that whole program and they built that culture and that character.
It means a lot. It really unites these people for the rest of their lives. But I think they can all look back and they don't only remember the championships that they brought here for the first time ever in this program, and one of the oldest programs in the country, but they have lifelong friends and they have Northeastern as a home for the rest of their lives. So I think they really appreciate that, and even the names that we don't hear about, like they had a big part in it too.
Biggest thing's leadership, without a doubt. We started off with Kendall before we started actually winning Hockey East games.
She helped with the culture shift, and as we have great leaders, the younger players learn from that. So now when it's somebody else's turn to lead, they've had a good example.
And then, you know, culminating with Alina as our captain. It was really neat to see our culture kind of snowball with all those players at the helm.
I've been lucky that we've had some amazing leadership here the last 10 years.
The leadership from our players and the accountability that they used, that they held each other to, and the standards that they held each other to as well was by far the biggest thing that helped us get from here up to there.
I feel a lot of pride for what we've been able to do here, and to think about when Coach Flint came in was my end of my sophomore year, and to see like what he's done with this program.
I look back and reflect on it, and I think about when I took the job versus now and how much we've grown, and it's been amazing.
I think that's the coolest part, is that it brings people together, because whether or not they were a part of it physically, they were a part of what we are now. It's definitely got a lot of pride involved, but also a lot of love for one thing, and that's Northeastern, so it's really special.